Bum, 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 do, 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 do. Bum, ba-dow, bum, bum, ba-dow, bum, ba-dow, dow, dow, da-dow. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-da. Hello, everybody! Ghostly! Ghostly, ghostly, ghostly! Ghostly smiling so hard her face hurts. As you should be. Congratulations, Ghostly, on what is it, 400? What is it, Ghostly? How insane is it right now? Whatever it is, it's bonkers. Yep, 4 years. You have written every day for 4 years. Wild. Wild. For 4 years. Well done, Ghostly. So we are here today. Today's stream is going to be celebrating Ghostly making it to 4 years of writing every single day, and apparently just plowing through her manuscript. Moon Runes, welcome in. And actually, speaking of which, let's see if it was giving me like errors where it was just like, we must check to make sure that this is not offensive. Let's see if it works. It does. So, and another announcement on the stream. So, Moon Runes, for my birthday, has added a new emote to the channel, and it is Princess. And if you can tell, it's adorable, and it's exactly what she does all the time. So, thank you so much, Moon Runes. It's so perfect. I'm sure she will be here any minute, so that you all can do it. So lots of announcements. But anyway, how are you? How is everybody doing? Ghostly, I'm assuming you are doing fantastic, having made it through your first book, and also hitting 4 years of writing every day, which is a feat of which is astounding. That I feel like we all wish we could do. But you are a titan of the words. And Moon Runes, how goes it? How goes your week so far? Hey, number 13th, welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And it sounds like I think we're probably going to be doing a read on stream for at least the first part of today. So just for everybody out there who is writing, I have a feeling we're going to be doing a reading for at least the first sprint, if not the first two sprints. We will see. But we'll still be running. I'll still be running the timer and everything in the background like I usually do. So you can all mute if you want to get some writing done and don't want to hear me yapping away. Oh, really? You don't? I don't see the emote end through the emote board? Okay, hold on. Let me... I think I just added it to a random slot, so maybe I added it to the wrong... I didn't put it in the free slot, so maybe I gotta swap some things around. Let me see. You don't see... Really? You don't see the emote? Okay, let me... Oh, it says it's locked? Okay. Alright. Maybe... Let's see if I can change this really quick. Okay, so we will get rid of heart. Let me see. Let me see. Hey, the kids are asleep. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. God, day 1472, man. I need to do that. I'm trying to think, what do I do every day? Like, habitually. And how can I make that writing? How can I make that writing? I don't know if there's anything that I do every single day. I put my glasses on. That's about it. Yeah, I breathe. That's it. That's it. I breathe and put my glasses on like a nerd. All right, let me see here. Okay, it might be okay. I think it auto added it to the tier 1 sub emotes. So let me move it to, let's see if I can, let's move it to the free one. I'll just put that in that. How do I do that? How do I do this? How do I make this work? I don't need to upload it. Can I just move the... Yeah, can I just move the collection? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it. I figured it out, everybody. I made the internet work. I did it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay. Alright, so... Let's see, that's Princess. Then this one should... Let's see if I can put this one in. Tier 1. Okay. Okay, alright. Let's see if that works. Okay. Do I need to save this or no? Okay, so it should be in the free... It should be in the free follower ones, not the tier 1 subscription ones. Unless it's still locked. Okay. Okay, I got it. I was just moving the slots around. So in theory, it should work now. But I have noticed that Tort is very silent. Which, let's see how long it takes before Opressoria destroys Tort. Alright, okay, alright, we figured it out. I figured it out. I forgot how I can swap emotes around. Because it's been a while since I've done that. Okay, alright, we made it. We made it, everybody. So hopefully now everyone here should be able to use it. Unless there's like a weird lock on it still. I don't know why there would be. How is the Wilight? Wilight is doing well. Wilight has been a puddle for a few days. Wilight has not gotten a lot done. Oh, maybe try restarting Twitch. Yeah, it's still not showing for you. Maybe, yeah, restarting. Yeah. But yeah, Wilight's been a puddle. Also, your move. Oh, thank you, Ghostly. That's very kind of you. That is very kind of you. I am very glad you enjoyed it. If anything, as long as you enjoyed your time with it, that's what matters. Yeah, I think there was the Q&A right after that, which was very nice. They're very sweet people, the people that run that festival. I think that YouTube link is forever good. So if for whatever reason you want to go back and watch that Q&A, you can definitely go watch the Q&A. Watch me babble incoherently like I do on stream all the time. Oh, Nell, welcome in. I'm very caffeinated. A good day to be caffeinated. You know I don't do horror, but I really, really enjoyed it. I loved how you shot it and the subtext. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Yes, it is. It's definitely my brand of horror, I guess. It's a little more ghostly. I have questions though, as one should. As one should. I would expect people to have questions after it. It's an odd, weird little piece. So oh, yes, the restart worked. Good. Okay, it works. Yay. What happened to the brother? Did he also get Raiders of the Lost Ark? Yeah, so the brother, regrows his leg and then kind of vanishes with this cult. Like, he just disappears. I guess there was a part that was cut where we actually see in the original script he actually committed suicide, but we changed that and he just sort of like vanishes and so the implication is he could have killed himself, but he mostly just disappears. So she never really knows what happened to him. She sees this very insane thing occur, and then he just vanishes. So that's why when like the pieces start lining up that this weird thing she's investigating seems to be tied to to what she experienced in California. It's why she goes up there by herself to go try to figure out what happened to her brother. I'm consequently full of energy, and it's going. Ah, yes. Well, that's good now. That is good. Um, and what happened to Mr. Hand Eye Priest Man? Because no Eye Man at the end was the hiker, not the yeah. You never see the yogi. You see yeah. You never see the yogi. He's the leader of the cult. He's Father Yogath. But no, the man at the end is Harley Warren. Is the guy that went up there with the academic who went up there with Carter. So she finds Harley Warren in the cave, because you only ever see him from a distance during the flashback stuff. But in theory, Mr. Hand Eye Priest Man goes with the brother, and they just vanish. And they father their children from the ground. So the thing is like whatever cosmic being they're tapping into is essentially bleeding into the world, and people are growing out of the blood. Yes, that is the implication. Yeah. Yeah, that's where the river babies and in the implication is all the people that live up there were born of this thing. They were born of and this cult is like the god I want. I mean, the power of renewal. Like it grew back his leg. That's kind of what I was trying to do with, like, when I think about what scares me is the idea that, like, because I'm, cults are cults, they're, I'm not particularly on board with any sort of like religious organization or even like wacky cult nonsense. And there's a lot of crossover, but like there is an idea that for me, what is existentially weird would be, what if there was a cult that showed itself as demonstrably onto something, and instead of being like, oh, this is just an excuse for a guy to be creepy towards women, or like, what most cults wind up being, what if there was something weird there, and like, what would I do in that? And a part of me is like, you know what? I'd probably see where the crazy train ends. I'd probably just be like, well, shit, okay. But that's also something deeply terrifying to me, because it's almost a comfortable position to be like, that's a wacko who is clearly just exploiting people and taking advantage of being a cult leader and a power, that sort of thing. But if there was a cult that was legitimately onto something and it was fucking weird like that, that would kind of freak me out a little bit. That's like existentially really disturbing to me. So I just kind of leaned into it and be like, all right, I guess we're gonna see where it goes. Curious enough to know what happens to her brother that she lets go and crosses the threshold, one might say. So that's kind of where that came from, at least personally, what inspired, like, I guess the subtext of it a little bit. That's sick. I love that. Yeah, the cult. I was very proud of when I kind of created like the cult topography and kind of this biological kind of like thing around it. I was pretty proud of that. Now I will say, and it's probably for Ghostly will appreciate this, because I think Ghostly would not be able to watch the movie otherwise. But there was, during that scene when they're like dancing in the woods and all that kind of stuff, there was a fellatio scene. A really strange, weird scene with like a tentacle and some weird sex acts that we shot that did not wind up in the movie. But I think, yeah, that it is the scene that everybody asked me why I cut that scene. And the real reason why I cut that scene is actually kind of funny. But yeah, I actually showed the mating part of the sort of biodiversity of the, yeah, it's very weird. It's a very weird scene. I called it my water cooler scene. I also showed a friend via Photoshop. They asked what they'd look like with curls, and I feel like the universe needs it to be a thing. Oh, in like Photoshop to like see what your friend would look like with curls. That's a great idea, Nell. That's amazing. Like the Shape of Water tentacle scene. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Ghostly, that might be the most horrifying thing. It was definitely a shocker moment, but it got cut from the movie, unfortunately. But I remember the reason was is we had a fake um we had a dildo. We had a fake penis that because it was so cold, it froze, so it looked fake. It just didn't look real enough because it was so cold out there. So that's why the scene got cut. It very clearly looked fake, everything that we were doing with it. So that's why the scene got cut. Ghostly, thank you. It's very funny. It is very funny to it's there's some amazing behind the scenes photos with that thing, which is very funny. Yeah. Anyway, those will not be shared. I mean, it's not like they're that inappropriate. There's no like real nudity or anything, but it is very funny. But yes, you got to see the creepy baby, that continually sweats in my closet, sweats the latex. So that's always interesting. But yeah, yep, it's an interesting time. But it was, yeah, I definitely tried to make it weirder, Nell, than like the Shape of Water scene is weird, but it's like clearly still very romantic. Mine was very like weird, like it was definitely leaning into like cult like ritual nonsense. Um, it was meant to be very disturbing and bizarre. So, um, yeah, that's terrifying. I'm sorry if you're disappointed, but I'm glad I got to watch. That's funny. I'm glad you got to watch it too, Ghostly. I think it was mellow enough, even though there's some points in it that I'm sure were a little intense. But I am glad that everybody who wanted to watch it got to watch it. So yeah, so I'm definitely like I'm proud of all the amazing work that everybody did on it. Um, now my focus is just trying to make the next one and do better next time. Ghostly will admit she had to close her eyes a few times. I figured there might be a couple points where it got too weird. That's fine. I mean, the end is designed to be very quick, visceral, and violent. So you loved how I used the color. It was very good. I'm glad. Yeah, the flashbacks in color, for sure. Um, it definitely lends itself. It definitely it worked. It was not. We didn't originally intend on that. But as we were like going through the post process, it kind of that turned out a lot better. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that yeah, the performers, the actors were great. They were great. They're lovely people. Adore like Dakota, who is the lead. She's fantastic. She that was her last big hurrah before she moved back to New York. Was following me on that crazy venture up to the mountains. But Dakota was very great. In your head, how did the brother lose his leg? I actually have a whole backstory about that. That he was a part of. He was actually like he was a part of. He was like a grunt on the ground, moving out of eastern Vietnam into Cambodia. So technically, in the background, I had him as being a part of like essentially the clandestine, like the operations that were illegal. Well, there are many illegal things we did in Vietnam, but like it was where we were illegally trying to get around the Vietnamese by going through Cambodia, and that he lost his leg there, um, which is a real that's a real thing. That is a real thing that they were, and those guys had no idea where they were too for the most part. Like the actual grunts thought they were still in Vietnam in the jungle, but they were actually in Cambodia. Um, they had gone into Cambodia because if you know anything about the Ho Chi Minh Trail, that went down as how they were moving supply lines between the north and the south. And in order to, because bombing just wasn't working, they went through into Cambodia and tried to essentially cut it off. So yeah, that was like the weird historical backstory of how he lost his leg. Was essentially they were running around back there and got bombed. And I had another backstory too that they had fragged his commanding officer too. where they had just gone in, the guys went in and killed him, which was another, that was like kind of like a subtext backstory thing that I had in the longer scenes. It kind of leans into the fact that he also was dealing with the guilt of having like essentially gone in and like grenading his commanding officer. That's neat. You had me wondering. Yeah, it was interesting. The movie that I got paired right next to, which I think was the best movie in the festival, Robbie Ain't Right No More, was another vet movie. It was another horror movie based on a vet, which I was like, why did you put me next to that one? But the guy, it's a very good movie. And it was written based on the director's experience coming back from Iraq, particularly living in North Carolina and coming back from Iraq and dealing with the people who have and particularly people that will say the most terrible thing you could possibly say to someone coming back. You know, like the immediate, how many people did you kill? I bet it felt great killing, racist, insert racist nonsense here. Just all the wonderful things we do to returning vets to make them feel great about everything. But it's a very good movie, so if you ever see the feature version of that pop around, I would highly recommend it, because I know he's trying to make a feature of it. But he's a good guy. Oh no, my thing keeps dying. There we go. Okay. But yeah. Thank you for my mini Q&A. That is fine, Ghostly. It's fine. I'm sure it'll probably be coming to an end. Okay, we got ads rolling. So we'll probably dive into things after. Ghostly passed out before the real one. I know you were up late, Ghostly. It kept you up late. Well, if you want to go watch the real one, you can go to that link and watch it. So you're more than welcome. That link, I think, is still active in the Discord. And I don't think that link is ever getting deactivated. I think I got an email from them after that that said that it's going to be, I think that link is just up there now. So we're allowed to like share it and all that kind of stuff. So everyone's more than welcome to go check it out. Or you can just ask me. It's fine. Ghostly is a decrepit old lady who goes to sleep at 8 p.m. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I have been a mess. I have gotten nothing done. I had nothing but meetings and like had to scramble to get some work done this week, like at the beginning of the week, and I have just been a zombie. So I don't know if I'm still like recovering from the past like month and a half, but I need to like turn the ship around real quick because it's almost November, and I got 2 more scripts I need to get done, plus some pitch decks. Moon runes. I wish I could do that. Oh, you wish you could do what? Oh, like get your shit together? I don't know. Oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha. My body won't let me into. Oh, go to sleep. Gotcha. My body won't let me until at least 11. Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I can't go to sleep early. And I'm back on my cycle where I go to sleep at like 11 or midnight, and I just wake up at 4. It's like whenever I go to sleep, I'm gonna wake up 3.5 to 4 hours later and be wide awake. It's just this has become a trend, and it's not going away. So it's fine. I just won't sleep. I just will not sleep. Oh yeah. Then I get up at 5 a.m. for work. Gotcha. Okay. Ghostly exported the first act to PDF. Oh yay! So you don't have to struggle with the conversion to Word. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, there you go. You got the whole first act as a PDF, Ghostly. You got it set in stone, locked away as you begin Act 2. That's wild, Ghostly. It's been a wild ride. And we've only been here for part of it. So oh, there we go. Let me move this out of the way. But yeah, I figure you do. It's a chonky boy. But yeah. All right. We should probably dive into it. It's a chonky boy. It is a big chonky boy. We should probably dive into it soon because I do have a writers meeting tonight after stream. See, I'm not actually starting Act 2. Ghostly is being bad and going back to adding a chapter. Of course you are. Of course you are, Ghostly. Never truly done, are we? Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. That happens, Ghostly. Don't sweat it. Always revising, always doing it. It's fine. Okay. Let me just respond to this really quick. All right. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. I'm done. Okay. Let's see. Ghostly is adding. It's also like insanely hot. It's like back up to almost 90 degrees right now. So I am like sweating. So I'm trying to. Ugh. It's very very hot and gross right now. Ghostly is adding a Damascus chapter right after you escape. Oh, gotcha. Okay, very cool. Oh, because you have me realize he's not. Oh, interesting. Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad I could help with that. Oh, you got it. All right, it has been sent. Doot. Hey, Patio Skunk, welcome in. How are you? We're about ready to start our sprints, but for the first sprint or a couple of sprints today, we are going to be reading someone's work. So, what? Do you need Edge to do that? Okay. Doing all right. Tried to quit my job this morning, but ended up getting 5 weeks off and said, "Hey, I mean, okay, I guess they call that leverage, but well done, not bad at all." 12. Gotcha. I think. All right, we're on 12. Cribbin, it's like looking into the damn sun. Yeah, I know. I don't. Not a fan. Not a fan. All right. Okay, so, all right, cool. All right, so we will at least do 2 chapters. So we'll do 2 chapters, Ghostly, today. Let's see how, ooh, that's a little bit, that's a chunky one. Maybe it's an option, I don't know. What did this open in? Oh, it opened in Microsoft Edge. Let's see here. It's Microsoft Edge. I never use Microsoft Edge, and so I do not know. Is there like a thing? Accessibility, downloads, privacy, search. Is there appearance? Okay, appearance. Let's see. Hey, dark. Ah, there is. Okay, well, it doesn't. It's not gonna dark the page, but at least it gives you like a dark border to the page. There we go. Okay, we did it. Go team. Adobe Dark Mode sounds like something. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a PDF. Lots of times PDFs you can't really change the color. It's a file. It's a file format that is kind of written in stone. All right. So, for those of you who are new, what we're gonna do is we're gonna read through these 2 chapters. But I will have the sprint timer. So if you want to work alongside us. Without like, hearing my voice over everything, feel free to mute. The timer will still be up, or just lower the volume. Otherwise, just go ahead and duck out, and we will see you next time. And I think we'll probably do a sprint for the last, an actual writing sprint on the last one. So, All right, let me get everything set up and good to go. We'll give the vibes. We'll give the vibes. We will give the vibes. Okay. Yes, that's right, Ghostly. Give me the fake money. Give me the fake dollar bills, the tort coins. Okay, there we go. All right. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. How's everybody? All right. Let's go and dive into this. Let's get it going. Boo boo boo. Bring the music down. All right. Okay. For everybody out there who is going to be writing, I hope the words treat you well. We will see you on the other side of the sprint. For everybody else who's going to hang out and read along, away we go. Happy writing, everybody. And away we go. All right. Bum, bum, bam. Okay, chapter 12. Unforeseen foreboding. Buttercup didn't realize the trees had thinned until she noticed Damascus had grown a few inches. As the low foliage had lifted in distance, he was able to stand to his full height again. She seemed to forget exactly how monstrous his proportions were until they loomed above her in full once again. His nose was buried in the maps as they trudged through the early morning light. She scoffed and shook her head as she spotted the leaves that had made a home in his tangle of bedhead, but she chose not to comment. A disheveled demon, she humored herself. Damascus looked up from the map to scan over the hill, focusing in a distant mountain peak before he looked back down again. If I'm not mistaken, the township of Lot shouldn't be too far now. His tone was quiet and contemplative, to the point Buttercup wasn't sure if he was talking to her or just himself. If you're not mistaken, aren't you the demonic vagabond? She humored dryly, a single eyebrow raised. He gave her a cold look over his shoulder. I think it would be wise for us to stop and get some supplies. As delightful as your burnt rabbit was last night, I do not think we can always count on finding more, especially once we make it into the mountains. Buttercup rolled her eyes behind him, her arms crossed over her chest. I'd like to see you evenly cook a rabbit over a twig fire while bound to a bear of a man, she grumbled. He lowered his map and rubbed the bridge of his nose. That's beside the point, he huffed. This boils down to the fact we have no rations and no supplies, and the trek will only get rougher. And how exactly do you suppose we remedy that? Her skepticism singed the back of his tangled hair. He idly ran a hand back through it in an attempt to wipe off the feeling of her lingering stare, his finger freeing the leaves by happenstance. We get supplies, he said bluntly before rolling up the mat, stowing it in the back of his many pockets. The slap of Buttercup's own hand to her face echoed through the wood. Why didn't I think of that? She mumbled, her sharp tone dripping with sarcasm. How do you plan on doing that when you have to sneak through the storeroom hatches to get so much as bandages? You do realize you have another appendage now, one that lacks your demonic abilities of stealth and shadow, she prodded. Oh man, she is just digging into him. His eyes squinted on the thin, winding dirt path before him. How could I forget? He mumbled under his breath. There is more than one way to sneak into a town, especially one as big as Lot. Not all of which requiring my demonic abilities, as you like to put it. Enlighten me. He sighed for the 100th time that morning as he looked down to see her obstinate form beside him. You're not going to like it. Her warm brown gaze met his eyes with a tired challenge. I'm listening. I do appreciate their little meetings. I call it the pre-town meetings or the pre-encounter meetings where it's them just trying to figure out how to even talk to each other. It lends itself to a lot of good biting conflict, Ghostly. You have to be kidding me. It wasn't a question. It was an accusation. It's a nice start. Damascus didn't need to see her face to know the scowl of disbelief she was giving him. At some point, you're going to start believing me when I tell you things. In the distance, uh, the city of Lot sprawled through the flat land at the foot of the mountain. Its large brick buildings stood up to the horizon, many of which billowing smoke into the ever growing gray sky. Damascus wrapped his hands around the rusted slats in the grate. He gritted his teeth as he hefted it out of the earth and dropped it onto the damp grass. It thudded against the ground, sinking into the soft land. Damascus stood from his stoop, a hand on his lower back as he winced. Ladies first. Absolutely not. First, you're going to explain what this is. Buttercup's hard stare narrowed into the dark hole in the ground. Do the people of Lot fancy themselves to be gophers? That's a good line. That's Damascus rubbed his face. It's for runoff water. It's the winter. In the winter, the snow melts off the mountains. So they build tunnels under the city to drain the water. They call them sewers. His frown deepened. Her frown deepened, tilting her head to try and see further inside. And this is how you get in, undetected? Yes, he said exasperately. He rummaged through his many coat pockets. I've done it many times before. It's not pleasant, but it gets the job done. His hand drew a bundle of what looked like dried hay from his coat, while his other hand still couldn't find what it was looking for. Buttercup finally tore her gaze from tunnel entrance to shoot it at him. And how am I expected to see 3 inches in front of me? His hand had clutched the bundle held up in a single finger. His hand that clutched the bundle held up a single finger for her to wait. His brow creased as he pushed his one hand deeper into his pocket than should have been possible. Something flickered behind his eyes, and a moment later he drew out a small metallic square. What is that? She raised a single brow, looking from him to the object in hand. It's from Selena, he explained. He flipped the top to open. He flipped the top open to reveal a small metal wheel and a piece of string. Yeah, that's funny. That's good, Ghostly. They call it a zippy light. Very nice. Very nice. He rubbed his thumb down the wheel as it hissed, spraying a spark before the string caught a small flame. That's how I know, even though it's from Selena, that's how I know Damascus is an angsty lad. It's because he's got a Zippo. And as a previous goth angsty lad in high school, I too had a Zippo. And it made me feel very cool for a long time. So, I'm just saying. definitely hitting home there. Buttercup jumped back. The rope swayed between them. A firebox? Is it magic? She squinted her distrust at the small metallic object between her fingers. Damascus shrugged. I don't know how it works, but it gets the job done. He lit the bundle of what looked like hay, and it bloomed into a sickly green flame. Nice. Buttercup's brow furrowed again, but before she could question him further, he stowed his zippy light and moved 1 foot into the hole, finding the ladder. Since you're not keen on going first, you can follow behind me, he said plainly as he descended into the small hole, his frame scraping the edges. Buttercup grumbled but knelt before the hole, watching as his messy mop of black curls started to blend with the darkness, his silhouette only illuminated by the green flame light. I didn't actually agree to this, she called after him, her eyes nervously flicking about the ditch they hunkered in. That's a shame, his voice echoed with a hint of sympathy. The rope around her wrist grew taut as as his feet hit the ground. She yelped and hunkered down closer to the grass. All right, she relented with a frown. She held onto the ground as she moved 1 foot into the hole, her boot blindly fumbling for the ladder, only finding cool open air. Something in the dark grasped her ankle, guiding it. Before she could jerk away, she felt the firm rung of the ladder under her shoe. Her brow crinkled further, the feeling of phantom fingers still around her ankle as it descended. Your descriptions are getting better, Ghostly. You're very good at you're keeping them brief and things are moving forward, but you're doing a good job. I can tell you are getting better describing things and giving definitely the vibe and the mood of the place with just enough detail to make sure that we understand geographically what's going on without it being sort of tedious or taking too long, since I know that in the past you want to get past the descriptions, but you're getting stronger at it for sure. Darkness cocooned her as she slowly climbed down on shaky legs. Her hands were sweaty on the rough metal bars. Part of her was thankful for the gritty metal that bit into her palms. The thought of her own her own bodily nervousness being her literal downfall, her literal downfall, only worsened the problem. Nice, that's good. It's fine. It just, I know you like it works. It keeps your writing very. It moves, so it's definitely better in my opinion to add a little bit of like detail and description, so it's not getting bogged down and you feel like you have to like cut a ton out. So I think no one will. You always, by doing this, you're generally going to avoid the problem of your pacing being too slow. So it's a good trait. It's a good trait. Sometimes you might need to linger in some places, particularly with character. But it's not a bad. It's a good problem. It's not the worst. Hey, there we go. Here's Princess. Princess is here. Hello, Princess. Hello. We're reading. The air felt. I know. The air felt thinner when in truth it was thicker. Making her head feel as though it was floating atop her body. The feeling of his eyes behind her didn't help. She tried to convince herself she was imagining it, but she couldn't deny the coarse sandpaper sensation that crawled over her skin when those unnatural eyes looked at her. It was almost enough to make her question if he really wasn't a demon. Ah, that's interesting. That's nice. Okay. His voice broke her internalized panic. Careful. One of the rungs is... And nice. Very nice, Ghostly. She was slipping before the warning could be stamped and sealed. Great, great, great. Her scream echoed through the cavern with a piercing clarity. Buttercup squeezed her eyes shut, her whole body braced for the unseen ground, when a thick arm wrapped around her middle. Delightful. She opened her eyes to see her feet dangling a good distance above the dirt ground. She caught her breath as she looked up to find his shadowy face, as impartial as ever, broken. He sighed the end of his sentence too late. Tropes exist for a reason. Who am I to deny them? Indeed, Ghostly, indeed. And even just like finishing the sentence as he stoically looks down at her after having caught her. You're just you're playing to the crowd, Ghostly. Playing to the crowd. A little slow to the draw there. She tried to swallow the shakiness that racked her voice, but it came out as little more than a rasp. He walked them back from the ladder to face the dark expanse of the tunnel. With one hand, he held up the green flame, while his other still wrapped her, holding her to his side. I think I made up for it. He squinted through the darkness before him, paying her no extra mind. You can put me down now, she forced her voice firm. Nice. You're sure you won't collapse? You're shaking like a leaf in autumn. It's a good description. His voice was plain with no sympathy. No mocking, just clean and even. Yep, stoic. Stoic lad, Damascus. Just clean and even, as though stating facts. I'm fine, she swallowed before she took a breath, ignoring that he was right about her quaking frame. I just don't care for rickety ladders that lead down into nondescript darkness. For good reason, as you can see. She looked down at his arm around her. Damascus leaned and set her back on her own feet, his eyes fixating on the void before him. Do you have a penchant for falling? His voice rumbled slowly through the tunnel, notably quieter than usual. No, she said quickly, stepping away from him and dusting off her dress to busy her shaking hands. Truly. His words were coated with skepticism. Because this marks the third day I have known you, and I have caught you thrice now. And so shall you continue, Damascus. to catch her when she falls. She folded her arms and looked off to the spindly roots that reached down from the roof. Perhaps it is your doing. I cannot imagine demons produce good luck. Just, so funny. Then maybe he's not a demon. You know what? He might be a good person. There's something behind the demon, but when she can, she's gonna bring that back up. He breathed what might have been a laugh. That's good. His feet squishing in the thin puddle that lined the middle of the tunnel. I suppose I am not notorious for carrying good omens. Damascus led them down the tunnel in relative silence, only the splash of boots in the water disturbing the whistling wind of the tunnel. Buttercup stuck closely to his side, and the faint green flame that burned as their only beacon against the dark. Her head was kept in an endless swivel between the shadow behind them and one before them. The stench of damp and dirt stung her nose, drifting on the chill, eerie breeze that tousled loose strands of her hair. Every few dozen paces, another tunnel would break through one of the walls and lead into a new abyss. But Damascus kept straight. A shrill squeak. Oh yeah, this next bit, Ghostly, is still on the fence. Okay, gotcha. A shrill squeak through the dark caused Buttercup to nearly jump out of her skin. She yelped and jolted into Damascus' side. He did not flinch. Instead, he just calmly directed the flame to the ground. The smell of vermin that scurried from the hole in the dirt wall and disappeared into the connecting tunnel. Jumpy, are you? She could feel the coarseness of his gaze moved over. As the coarseness of his gaze moved over her through the shadow. She swallowed, forcing herself to take a step away from him. Just alert, she cleared her throat. I'm sure. He said nothing more as he carried on, though the less frequent swivel of his own head was not lost on her. And why are you on edge? Wouldn't a demon thrive in dank darkness such as this? She asked, flipping the subject on him. I'm always on edge, he replied dully, casting his light through the dust that sprinkled the air. She didn't speak for a moment, her eyes falling in the dingy steam as she conceded his point. It's strange hearing that from your mouth. Because I'm naturally terrifying? He asked, even though his even tone was laced with something sardonic. Yes, her tone was oddly genuine, perhaps even a touch envious. You do not look like someone anyone would dare bother. He sighs, rolling his shoulders in a vain attempt to loosen the stiffness that bound him. Well, I'm afraid my stature only makes me more of a target. As they walked, offshoot tunnels sprouted more regularly through the walls, as though they were coming to a hub of some sort. At least you are built to fight. She glanced over his stone face, the green flame making him appear almost undead. You could have tossed Logan into the river like a skipping stone with ease, I imagine. He scoffed what might have been a dry laugh. Perhaps not with ease, but I could have handled your hunter. I concede I have a natural advantage in the strength department, but it is a double-edged sword. Hey, Cryptid, welcome in! Ghostly day! She frowned. How so? I ache constantly. Though you may not believe it, I am only human, and my build has worn me down faster than your average Otis. He rubbed his knotted face, his fingers running in the dark ditches under his eyes. Buttercup's frown smoothed at the edges, her sharp brown gaze relenting somewhat. I can't imagine. He shrugged. We make the most of what we are given. The ability to lift a tree on one shoulder is a neat parlor trick, if nothing else. She shook her head down, trying to hide the reluctant smile on her face. I feel like there is more value to strength than just a parlor trick. He gave a faint nod, his voice quieting. I suppose it is a convenience I can take for granted. Yep, story time indeed, Cryptid. Story time indeed. Her eyes grew distant as they traced the ripples in the dark stream under her feet. If I had, I know if I had the power, I would fix the lean to my house. I know if I had the power, I would fix the lean to my house myself. I would have thrown Logan into the river, and And I would put a stop to the drunken travelers that bother me and Bella. Her voice trailed off. That's cute. Damascus' stone face cracked as his brow wrinkled. Drunken travelers? Buttercup's pupils shrank as she realized she had been speaking aloud, and there was a person beside her to hear. I work at a tavern. You know the atmosphere, she said quickly, her tone instantly sharp and defensive. Um, yeah, exactly, Crypto. You can always throw liver. You can always throw Logan into the river. It's a good plan in most cases. Cool him off, one might say. He was quiet for a long moment, and she could practically hear the gears moving. Is there no man around to keep the fools at bay? It's called a bouncer. She exhaled sharply. Sometimes we have Collins, the owner's son, but it's usually just me and the younger barmaid. And what do you do if there's trouble and it's just the two of you? She swallowed. Her jaw tightened as she fought down the anger that bubbled in her. I've been backhanded enough to know that physical altercation does not go in my favor. Oh, Jesus. Yikes. So I've learned to sweet talk if need be. That took a dark turn. Yikes. The air shifted around them. Though she couldn't see it, with the flame's pitiful excuse for light, she could feel the tension in him coil tighter. They've struck you? The words were ice. She hadn't heard him use such a tone before, and it made her stomach plummet. And the owner doesn't not have the tender there to prevent it? I never told him, she snapped. It's embarrassing that I can't handle the bar on my own. Now will you leave it be? I should have said nothing at all. Oof. Damascus huffed. He forced his tight jaw open to speak, but he stopped dead in tracks before he could make a sound. His head snapped to face one of the tunnels to the side, his eyes squinting through the darkness as his entire focus shifted on a dime. Yeah, double negative, yep. Yeah, I'm avoiding, like, detailed edit notes for reading through this, because I figure at this point, it's so far everything I'm encountering is just minute stuff that editors can work with you on. Buttercup stopped a few feet in front of him, a scowl from their conversation still fresh on her features. She took in a breath and opened her mouth to question him when he cut her off. Fine, he had said quietly, his eyes still on the tunnel. For now. His words were final, and feet started moving again, a little faster this time, though his scrutinizing gaze remained on the tunnel, something sharp and uncertain behind his eyes. Keep quiet and move quickly, he said in a hush. Buttercup tilted her head with the whiplash of the conversation. She watched him walk away, clearly wanting a better explanation than that, but the rope tightened and pulled her feet forward. Buttercup stumbled behind him in the dark, too focused on slapping him across the arm to realize his nervous glance backwards. Oh, interesting. Nice setup. Nice setup there, Ghostly. I never told him, the shout echoed through the dark tunnel. A pair of leathered boots stopped like stone in the thin puddle. A rough hand raised in a signal, and several other pairs of boots froze behind in response. Slowly, a dim torch lowered to the stream until the fire licked the water and extinguished with a hiss, the darkness consuming the tunnel in full. It's embarrassing. I can't handle the bar on my own. Now, will you leave it be? I shouldn't have said anything at all. Many pairs of boots stayed firm and silent. As eyes adjusted in the dark, it could be seen that the tunnel made a sharp corner up ahead. Faintly, a green light tinged the darkness from around the corner, and the murky shadows sprawled across the floor. The brown boots at the head took a single step out of the puddle. The water rippled with a sound that should have been lost on the wind, but the sudden silence down the tunnel begged the question that maybe it wasn't. The green light grew a bit stronger as the shadow pivoted towards the sound and the unknown visitor around the corner. A dingy hand tightened on the hilt of the sword. A pearly white smile protruded from the darkness as the man that wore it watched the shadow consider its path, an anticipation behind his hungry stare. Fine. The low sigh was almost inaudible. For now. Keep quiet and move quickly. The green light receded, darkness gushing in to fill the space. Trudging footsteps steadily grew distant down the tunnel way. The man with the gleaming smile waited until the sound was barely heard. When his boots dared trudge again, the man-eater is still sharp as ever. His voice was a low whisper. The words were not even intelligible by the others, but the glee that laced his tone was enough to get all intent across. Hey! Ghostly, are we going to meet a new villain? Are you introducing a new villain right now? Interesting. Hey, Mariachi Build Log. Welcome in, welcome in. We're just doing a reading right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How goes the days? Hopefully the words are treating you well. Thank you. By the way, have I mentioned? You have not, but I'll take it. Thank you so much. Thank you. My piratey facial hair. Well done, Ghostly. Well done. Interesting. Okay. So, let me take this in. I am very excited for a new... It is always fun to have, like, any... I'm immediately distrustful of anybody. It's like, the prince, the evil prince scene where it's anyone who's, like, got a pearly white smile is just like, I don't trust you. You're too perfect. I don't know. It's a funny thing. Moon has arrived. I have written so many words today. Excellent. Well done. It's always good to write. Always good to get those words done. Okay. So let me see here. All right. Okay. Where did we... Let me go back to chapter 11, the end of chapter 11, just to remind myself here. Damascus caused... or calloused hands stopped on the wood. Eyes, Buttercup gaze fixed. Oh, that's right. Yeah, this is when they get. They drink a little bit. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay, interesting. All right. So I guess for this chapter, I do the sequence that you're unsure about, where we like, or they don't drink. Sorry, they what do they do? It's something. Why is she? What happens? Why are they like? Is she drugged? Or she has like a spell on her? I can't remember what it is. Oh, that's right. Yes, they agree they would need to be drunk to talk about it. That's it. Got it. All right. You need to get some sleep. Very sleepy. Well, if you got the words done, go get some well-deserved rest. Mariachi Build Log. Have a lovely eve. Get some rest. Rest up. Maybe make some tea. Whatever it takes. But I hope that you get some deep, deep sleep. Right. Ghostly. Okay. They were, Yeah, they agree to be vulnerable. They agreed in order to be vulnerable, they need to be drunk. Okay. All right. That's what I needed. I just need to remind myself of that. Okay. So I think the scene you're worried about, that's actually the most, that absolutely should stay there. I think I'm kind of, what I'm starting to wait for. Here's where it's interesting that you fear heavy subjects. So what I'm waiting for now is I am waiting for her and for Damascus and Buttercup I'm waiting for their conversations to turn to other matters about who they are and their life, because they spend so much time talking back and forth. I'm waiting for their conversations to start to move into these areas, these like deeper areas, the things that they don't talk about. Because you run the risk of them having the same conversation over and over again, where it's you're really good at doing your banter, where they're kind of like, he's like trying to walk her through, here's what we need to do to survive, and she's, criticizing him or saying like, well, how am I expected to do, essentially just being obstinate. But she's learning, and you need those scenes, so you don't risk doing those too much or just repeatedly. You need these conversations to start kind of turning towards like, okay, who are these characters? Where do they come from? And like, why, like, as people start opening up to each other, that's kind of where the bonds are going to get, That's where their bonds. Yeah, exactly. It's the vulnerability thing. That's where the bonds are going to get stronger, and it's really important, particularly for Buttercup, to be because she has so many walls built that you really need to start like you need to let things like this kind of sneak out because that's going to keep Buttercup be like, okay, we get it. She has these walls. She's very protective of how she feels, and like also things that she's experienced. So it's really like, yeah, you don't need to like have everybody just have the monologue where they open up to each other, but you particularly because writing people that have a lot of walls built up that are very reserved can be very difficult because we have nothing. It's very hard for us to get to know them and to even empathize with them because they're so withdrawn. And because Buttercup hides behind her kind of sarcasm and her wit, I think what you did here is like you need to have this happen in this scene. It's also a good scene to have something really intense drop like that. Like you're down in these sewers, it's dark, and you're already like hinting at like external threats here. It's kind of it's good. I think it's a good way to do it. My only thing is like whether or not touch a bit. Okay, I was planning on touching more on it a bit later, but I was uncertain if it landed. No, it lands. I think it lands. It's strong. Um, let's see. Cryptid grounds the story. It works well. Yeah, you need that. And yeah, it should. As they get to know one another, that's their exactly. That's their character development. Even if it's just a weird throwaway comment when one of them can't fall asleep, that gets deeply personal in a quick, harsh turn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can always, it comes down to like show not tell. How much do you want them to say, and then how much do you want some of these things, these quirks, to be done in like action? Because that's something you learn a lot, particularly if you are writing action. Is there action is always a very good way for you to say things about a character without having them say it because of what they value, how they respond to a situation. Certain that can actually tell you just as much about who a character is and what they value, what they care about, how they react to things, than them just actually saying it. I imagine this was part of why she's become so stout. Yeah, I think so. I think using her sarcasm, particularly if she has encountered abuse and violence at the bar that she's working at, that is a response that makes sense psychologically. That she's gonna have walls built up. She's gonna be removed. She's gonna distance herself from people and things, and put that behind it could be a bubbly, like a kind of sarcasm, but that is a it makes sense. It's not a it is a reaction that makes sense. Also consider what little things Damascus could say or do that could set off an emotional. Yeah, that's true. Something that triggers Buttercup, even if it's just something small but meaningful. Yeah, that is a good thing. Like things, because that's a thing that happens in real life where you can say something that is completely random and completely unoffensive, and that something about that can cause a visceral emotional reaction in somebody else because we don't know each other's lives. We're not deeply intertwined. It's knowing another person is it arguably like fully know somebody is impossible. So it's always useful to use that as not just stirring up conflict between two people to make it interesting and to kind of examine how they can grow together or grow apart, but it's also important to because it's true to life because it is, and it's smart. I also imagine that it could aid her standing, um, aid in her standing distrust against Damascus, even though she doesn't buy in the whole. Yeah. I mean, that's not to have an intense distrust of a brutish, large, aggressive figure when you have encountered violence and had suffered traumatic violence at the hands of that. Makes sense. It makes sense why his disposition would be off-putting to her by a default. Why she could, in theory, have a fear response to it. Yeah. I think. I don't think you should. I definitely don't think you should shy away from the heavy subjects. I know you tend to, worry about that, but you do handle them with a lot of care. You are not being irresponsible with them. So I think it's safe to like lean into that a little bit because it's you're clearly already going to have a point of view about this thing. So like lean into that point of view. And I think I think it might be okay in this instance to like take some risks, Ghostly, to like in some cases really push it. I think you should I hopefully think that you should feel free to push it. If you're going to lean this way and go with it, I don't think you should be afraid. You don't have to be sure of it. We all write things that we're like, "Oh, I went too far here." And that's fine, but I don't think you should feel afraid to go that far and then pull it back if you feel like you need to. But I think you should feel free to really lean into it and explore it and push into it. Because I mean, it's a point where I'm reading them like talking to each other, giving each other shit, just generally being cute, and then you drop something like that on me, and then even as a reader, you see me just kind of take a step back and go, "Oh shit, okay, okay, okay." The dynamic is completely changed now. So now my view of Buttercup has changed, my view of their relationship has changed, and it's I'm experiencing an emotional a change, like an emotional reaction to what they're emotionally feeling, which is what you want. That's literally what you're trying to do. So I think it's a strong choice, and I think you should lean into it. I was really concerned you didn't handle it well. I didn't know you handled it well, Ghostly. I don't think I think you're empathetically intelligent enough or emotionally intelligent enough to probably be able to handle this material pretty responsibly. I wouldn't I You are not someone I'd be worried about writing intense material. Um Oh, absolutely. It's hard to trust someone who physically holds that much power. Exactly, when you're in a place trying to heal as a victim of violence. Exactly, Cryptid. Yep, that's 100% true. Same, it adds a lot of depth to her. It's a great choice. I was gonna say at the end of the first, I was gonna say the end of the first act really wrecks everything. Things get really bad. Yeah, I mean, as I expect. Yeah, fantastic. I look forward to it. As I would expect that they're going to. That is how stories work. Okay, cool. We've got what 3 minutes left. That's not enough time to get to like a break point mid chapter. So we will start this chapter on the next sprint. I think. Gods and Tadpoles. It's good. I love your chapter titles. Chapter 13, How I Love You So. Okay, so we've got some stuff to look forward to, it sounds like. Okay, all right. Exciting. All right, so we will pick it back up. We're going to pick it back up on the next sprint. We meet the Max. The Max! Oh, is there a character? I didn't even look. Is there a Max in here? Oh, God. Double A. Max is... the double A, double U. Oh, that's funny. All right, I'm excited for this. All right, I'm very excited. Okay, all right, we'll see. We'll see who this Max is. I don't know. I'm generally pretty distrustful of Maxes. In my opinion, there ought be only one, I'd say, that would exist. You did warn me. You did set me up for this, that there was indeed a Max present. So, interesting. Okay, let me see. You'll think you'll like this one? All right, all right. I mean, I doubt I'm gonna not like it, so. I was gonna say there can be only one. I'll get you, Highlander. There can be only one. Oh man, one of my favorite fantasy film characters of all time is the Kurgan, man. I will never not. I will never not be. Yeah, if you're not aware, all Maxes engage in mortal duels, um, literally just so until because once there's one of us, we become a god. We become a we become a god. So, um, uh, I was about to say there can be only one exactly. I'll tell you now. It was based off one of the coolest Maxes ever to exist. Awesome. I'm sorry it wasn't you, Twilight. That's fine. I am certainly not the coolest Max to ever exist. There have been many more, but there have been worse, like the Austrian king Maximilian, who was beheaded by his own people in Mexico. Just so you know. Just so you know. So there have been many worse Maxes out there, and another one who's a nepo baby from Hollywood. So. You're the second coolest Max. All right, I'll take it. I'll take second place. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh yeah. What was it? Patio. I know his name. Oh, you're talking about why can I not remember his name? Because the boss in SpongeBob SquarePants, Krabs. But he's in like Buckaroo Banzai, The Eighth Dimension. He's in a bunch of he's a great actor. Also in Blue Steel, which is a crazy cop movie by Catherine Bigelow that I highly recommend. Hey Bree, hey, welcome in Bree. Oh, sorry, oh, God, okay. I know his name. Yes. Yeah, you're quoting the Kurgan. He says that's right. Yep, that's true. Or when he steals the lady's car and he's like, "Mom," so great. All right, welcome back, everybody. If you were writing, welcome back. We're gonna start the down timer. Hopefully the words treated you well. Sorry, Highlander is like one of my favorite movies. I like watched that movie repeatedly growing up. But I hope the writing was great and that you got some of the words, if not all the words done. Bree, how are you? How goes your time zone? Oh, hi. Opera Soria, thank you, Opera Soria. 7 minutes. Good, going good. We're reading Ghostly's story right now. The first act, and we're celebrating Ghostly having written for every day for 4 years. So... Ghostly is a titan of literature who just apparently will never stop writing and will write every single day of her life. So we are here to celebrate that by reading some of her work. Let's see here. You better be able to name who inspired this one. It's painfully obvious. What Max would have inspired? How would I know what Max? I don't know that many Maxes. Unless it's Mad Max, because Mad Max rocks. Okay, that is definitely the perfect Max. Unless it's the other Max from your other story, who might be the coolest Max. You will know. Is there a Max in Princess Bride? Did I forget an entire character named Max in Princess Bride? I'm not that much of a narcissist. That might be Miracle Max, exactly. Is there a Max? There might be a Max, and I sometimes. Oh, that is his name. That is Billy Crystal's name. Is it really? Jesus, did I actually? Oh my God, is his name actually? It totally is Max, isn't it? I don't remember those names. I'm just like, it's Billy Crystal being. Yeah, marriage. Yeah. Oh my God, it is. Oh yeah, his name is Max. I totally did not. I've seen that movie countless times, and it is Miracle Max. Yeah, you're right, Patio Skunk. It is Miracle Max. I did not know that. I could name every other character in that movie. Yeah, fair. I mean, it's fair. You're not wrong, Ghostly. You're not wrong. You should disown me. I can name every single. Inigo Montoya, obviously Wesley, Buttercup, Humperdinck. Like I did not completely forgot. Yep, completely forgot. How dare you? It's okay, Ghostly. I'll be back to streaming soon. Let's see. So you can hang on mine and I'll read your work. Though I do not have all of Twilight's charm. You have all of my charm and more, Cryptid. You knock that off, Cryptid. Knock it off. Your streams are cozy and delightful, and I adore them. And everybody should immediately go hang out in those streams. For the love of God. Highly recommend. You all of you, get out of here. You get out of here. Everybody get out. Get out. Go hang out. I'm disowned. I'm disowning myself. I quote. Oh no, why did it do that one? God damn it. God damn it. Ah. Yeah, of course it did that one. Thank you, Ghostly. Thank you for having it do that one. Have fun storming the castle. I think it'll work. It would take a miracle. Exactly, Patio Skunk. God damn it. The minute you said it's based on a Max, that was the only one you could think of. Yeah, I mean, it's just funny. I completely forgot that there was a Max in Princess Bride. So, yep. All right. As we all know, Princess Bride is. At least know that that's Ghostly's favorite thing. It's just, yeah, completely. Yep. Gone, absolutely gone. The minute you said I'm even Ghostly. Even you're like, not that one. Like, yeah. Who do you have to blame for that, Ghostly? I'm pretty sure that was you that wanted me to add that one. Monsters. You're all monsters. You better pull out your best Billy Crystal impression. With the lisp. Mewage. Oh god. It's not even really the lisp. It's just the. I am not gonna do a good. I know that's not Billy Crystal, but I want to do that because I can do that one. I can't do Billy. I don't know if I should do a Billy Crystal impression. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I know, and that's kind of why I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that one because I'm gonna butcher it, and it's gonna just come off as real bad, like a bad stereotype. Monsters in the right circle. Yeah. Speaking of of Tuscany. Oh yay, Tuscany! How is Tuscany doing? Now yelling at me. Maybe she is off to storm the castle. Hey, there you go. My friend in Utah got married, and he and his wife had a pastor talk with the impressive clergyman accent. Nice, that's good. That will always be probably my favorite part of. I mean, everything about the Princess Bride is great, but the clergyman accent, and like I feel like every wedding needs that. It's the most quotable for me. That and Inigo Montoya's obviously got, is obviously Inigo Montoya probably has some of the best one-liners for sure. Even though it's. Oh, she did not let you sleep last night. She's feeling better. Gotcha. Yep. Let's see. That was the joke of the character. He was a character of the Jewish stereotype, but as a magic man. Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I know that is the joke of the character. I mean, it was literally written and directed by Jewish folks, and they can do that. It's the Mel Brooks thing. The Mel Brooks thing is literally that they play into in order to deconstruct the Jewish stereotypes. That's why they particularly like Mel Brooks, and I think even to a degree Rob Reiner and William Goldman. I think that's why they tend to understand satire and what kind of comedic satire works a lot better than other folks do. I mean, they really do. I think that's why, honestly, is because they've had to put up with it for so long, and it's so like demonized historically that all you can do is really point out the absurdity, but they're able to kind of like understand symbolically how those things are represented and then deconstruct them through the comedic elements of it. Miracle Max is my second favorite character in that movie. He has 5 minutes. He has 5 minutes of screen time, but I mean, and that's the kind of character that you get. But like that's that's who you get Billy Crystal to play. If you need a character who's going to become the most iconic character in literally 5 minutes, you get Billy Crystal to do it. Oh, okay, gotcha. It's the only Goldman. Oh, okay, Coldman. The US it's Coldman. Ghostly went back and rewatched his scene 3 times while writing this chapter to get it right. Nice. Okay. Okay, so it's definitely gonna be a very it's gonna have a rye. It's gonna definitely have some of that dry, very uh it's gonna okay. All right. I'm prepared for it. I'm preparing myself mentally for it. To play. Yeah. I need to go back and I need to go back. It's been a few years since I've watched Princess Bride. So there I have those cycles of movies I watch every year. I used to watch Princess Bride that around that often, but yeah, I have not watched it probably in like 4 or 5 years now. Yeah, I think it's been like 4 or 5. It was before COVID. I remember that. On a regular basis, I say to anyone who will listen, "I'm not a witch. I'm your wife." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, Twilight, what is wrong with you? There's associations with that movie that Twilight needed a break from. So, Twilight had to take a step back for a little bit from Princess Bride. But that was a few years ago. Uh, no, no, but yes, yes, yes. I will get around to rewatching Princess Bride for a while. Um, it has been far, far too long. I no longer disown you. I adopt you back. I've taken you back into the fold. Thank you, Ghostly. Thank you for your kindness and your understanding. While I get back into while I slowly come back to watching Princess Bride once a year. All right, all right, everybody. We're gonna dive into chapter 12, unforeseen foreboding. For those of you who are writing and trying to get words done, I hope the words treat you well. Oh man, we're all right. We're gonna do a movie night. We're doing a movie night to do Dune because that will not stand. My God, we're gonna do Dune Part 1 and Part 2. For the love of God, I cannot. I cannot. The dude does not abide, which is also another movie I probably should do on a movie night, which is The Big Lebowski. All right, everybody. All right, yeah, the ads are over. All right, I think. Yep, looks like they are. All right. All right, everybody, diving into 12. For those of you who are writing, happy writing, and we will see you on the other side. And away we go. Bam. Beat me to it. Beat me to it. Beat me to it, Ghostly. All the words. You got this, Moon Runes. All right, chapter 12. Let me get my... Ghostly, be better. That's right. Be better. Do better. I know. That's what all the kids keep saying to me. Be better. Do better. I'm old and I'm scared. and I'm old and I'm scared and I don't understand kids today. Technology. Okay. All right, enough of that. All right. Chapter 12. Unforeseen foreboding. Big same, exactly. I'm old and I'm scared. Twilight being real with this Twitch chat. Yeah, that's right. There you go. There you go. Add that to the quotes. Add that to the quotes. Buttercup didn't realize that the trees had thinned until she noticed Damascus had grown a few inches. Oh, wait. Didn't we just do 12? Sorry, wait. We're on 13. My God, what am I doing? Wrong chapter. I apparently rolled back. There we go. Jesus. Am I high? What's happening? All right. Chapter 13. Gods and Tadpoles. Damascus dodged a puddle of mysterious sludge that had plummeted from the grate above it. We know what that sludge is. It made a sickening smack against the muddied floor, but he couldn't be bothered to pay it any extra mind. Buttercup looked up from the grate from a safe distance. Horror and disgust come together in the amalgamation on her face. This is awful, she breathed. Not ideal for an afternoon stroll, no. Damascus carried on through the tunnel. He let his green flame bundle fall to his side as grates opened up regularly overhead, the light of the world above killing the worst of the shadows. The duo had split, both keeping to their respective walls, while the rope dangled between them, trying to keep the shadows and trying to keep to the shadows and out of the direct line of vision of the higher world. Shadows danced across the streams of light that shone through the central line of grates as people passed overhead. The conversation and noise pollution filled the musky air, the town above carrying on without a second thought to the winding world beneath their feet. "We're nearly there," Damascus spoke under the thrum of the higher chaos. "Where is there exactly?" Damascus cast the 211th glance back over his shoulder to the tunnel behind him before he answered, "Max's goods." "Max's goods," he said simply. She blinked. You say that like I've been here before." "It seems rather self-explanatory to me," he spoke dryly. His eyes slanted with mild exasperation. "It's a general store, much like the one you found me in." Her eyes fell as she recalled the first meeting in the basement. How distant that felt, when in truth it was just 2 days ago. A lifetime and a blink ago, she breathed in a hollow laugh. "We've been busy," he said lowly. Thea is certainly enjoying us as her puppets on the stage of Owentine. The rope swung between them, casting its pendulum shadow across the murky stream. I have a mounting suspicion that the Mother of the South does not hold the blame in this, not entirely, at least." Her gaze flicked over to him, the inkling to question on her tongue, but the chance was ripped from her as Damascus pulled them down an offshoot tunnel. She clamped a hand over her mouth not to yelp at the sudden tug that sent her stumbling. "A little warning next time would be lovely," she scolded through her teeth as she found her footing beside him. He pressed a finger to his lips as he guided them down a tunnel barren of grates, the green flame in his hand once again being utilized. "We're under Business Row," he rasped in a hush. "These people aren't very original," she muttered. It's funny. She muttered under her breath as she watched the ground. She picked up her skirt and petered around a rather thick, mysterious puddle. "Westshire's general store is called The Gen. You have no room to... the Westshire's general store is called The Gen. You have no room to judge." Even when lowered, his voice reverberated powerfully off the walls, making his hush in vain. Damascus halted on a dime, nearly acquainting his ribs with Buttercup's face. She frowned as she managed to stop herself a couple of inches from him. What is the... Damascus silenced her with a finger. He held it out to stop her short, before he pointed at the ceiling. Reluctantly, she followed his gaze up, and found what she had neglected to notice in the dark. Through the dirt was a metal grate, much like the one they had come from. As her eyes focused, she noticed the faintest hint of light breaking through the slits. "Where's the ladder?" "There isn't one." "What do you mean there isn't one?" "I mean what I said. There is no ladder." Then how do you plan? Damascus had quit paying her mind. He stretched up a hand and met the grate with his palm without much effort. His arms strained, and slowly the grate lifted from its hole. He clenched his teeth as he slid the thick metal plate up and over and onto the unseen ground above. "Brilliant," she spoke with lackluster, her slanted, unamused eyes watching as he rolled his sleeves to his forearms. "That does not solve how we..." Damascus gave her no forewarning before hauling her up from the ground like a sack of flour. It's just always just picking her up. Her jaw fell and tongue burned to curse his whole lineage as the horses they rode in on, but her head was through the ceiling before she could conjure a properly vile spell. She forced herself to remain silent as her upper half emerged into a dank storeroom. Damascus grumbled in the tunnel beneath her as he pulled her to sit atop one shoulder, raising her about the waist high above the floor. Climb up the rest of the way, he ordered through a breath, trying to shift her a bit higher without letting her slip from his shoulder. Buttercup did not linger. She leaned over the edge and pulled herself up until she managed to get a knee on the brick floor. She rolled off to the side, keeping on her knees as a tug of the rope reminded her that she couldn't get far. The storeroom was much larger than the one they had met in. The dirt floor replaced with brick. No dust or cobwebs could be seen sticking to the wares that filled dozens of weaving shelves. Even just from the dark corner she arose from, Buttercup could tell it was a labyrinth. Nice. It's good descriptions, Ghostly. Great descriptions. Her attention was stolen, and they're very short too, which is you're really nailing that. Her attention was stolen from the well-constructed space and back to the grate as two large hands grasped the metal edge. She could hear a strained groan from below as he pulled himself up to join her. His jaw was clenched when his head broke through, his shoulders following. Though they scraped the sides of the grate, he managed to get his elbows onto the brick and push himself up nearly waist high. Buttercup shelved her annoyance for the moment and grabbed two handfuls of his coat. Handfuls of his coat, pulling him back into the room with her body weight. Through this struggle, he glanced at her with a mildly perplexed look to him, but he made no comment as he pulled himself all the way up. It's very funny. This is a funny scene. Yeah, the visual. This is a funny scene. Ghost is very good. Like the perplexed look. That's very funny. I was really concerned the basement wasn't well set. No, you nailed it. This is absolutely adorable. This is very funny. Thanks, he sighed through a strained lunge, his legs dangling over the edge as he caught his breath. The scowl on her face told him that he shouldn't mention that her efforts didn't actually do all that much. She stood up and straightened her skirt, taking the fleeting opportunity to be taller than him. Manhandle me again without asking, and I will not be so pliant, she warned with a sharp glance at him. Yeah, exactly. Top-tier comedy. Yeah, top-tier heist comedy for sure. For once, his eyes traveled up to meet her, the thoughts behind them frustratingly unreadable. Noted. With that, he stood, and the illusion was broken. Buttercup looked away from him, turning her sights on the weaving storeroom. Now what? She asked in a hush. Simple. We take what we need and leave a generous tip. He descended on the shelves in an instant, taking canned food and dried produce and stuffing it into his large coat pockets. It was when he fixed 6 cans of peaches into a single pocket without it changing shape, that she had to rethink what she was seeing. He's got TARDIS pockets. How deep are your pockets? If I remember correctly, roughly the size of a broom cupboard, he explained without looking at her, but his eyes on the goods before them. I want to know what you watched or read to inspire this vibe, because so many movies come to mind. Yeah, it's definitely got a good, it's the two of them together, fantastic comedy of errors for sure. TARDIS pockets. Big pockets for a big man. He's a growing boy. He's got to eat a lot. You need to be able to stuff that stuff into pockets. It's a real thing, by the way. We used to do that up in the mountains all the time, is you have these big jackets with these very deep pockets. It's how half my family members can, at any given moment, produce a beer can. They just have them riddled within massive amounts of pockets. It's a real thing. Excuse me. Her head tilted as though she had heard him wrong. Magic? Sorcery? Hoodoo? Hoodoo? Magic? Sorcery? Hoodoo? Myth? Call it what you want. I bought the coat from a witch because I wasn't keen on carrying a pack. She called it bottomless pockets. I don't know how it works, and I frankly don't care. This is the Princess Bride and the Howl's Moving Castle book plus web comic that inspired the rewrite. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. I can fit them in my raincoat is awesome. Yeah. Buttercup's jaw fell between annoyance and disbelief. You wear a magic coat with endless pockets and you don't question it? Not as long as it works. He moved down another aisle. It's a great line. The rope dragging her behind. When you travel and see the unfathomable things that dwell outside of understanding, you learn to question everything is only a waste of time. Is only wasting your time trying to grasp water. Damascus leaned down and picked a few potatoes from his basket before pocketing them. The unrelenting crease in her brow indicated that her struggle to accept that, but she remained silent as she watched him gather. Damascus grabbed 2 water skins, tucking them away into his coat. "Do you need anything specific?" he asked, rifling through the pocket he had just been stuffing. She let her gaze linger to the shelves before they were caught on a pocket sewing kit. "Do you have anything to stitch? Do you have anything to stitch with?" "No." His head was low as he grabbed up the rolls of blankets on the bottom shelf. When I was a young Cryptid, it was all about how many snacks you could sneak into the theater. Yeah, we did that too, Cryptid. I got that. Pocket potatoes, man's secret hobbit. Yep. The man's secretly a hobbit, a big ass hobbit. He's a giant hobbit, you know. He's a hobbit that had enlarged self cast on him 5 times over. She took a small leather pouch with her hands opening it to the pedal through the contents. "I want this," she said simply. Damascus said nothing, his head still buried in a shelf. He pried open one of the deep side pockets and held it agape for her. She saw his offer, but resolved to tucking it into her bodice instead. It's funny. Oh, that's funny. That's good. I love that. I love that, Ghostly. He sensed her decline and continued on without a shrug. Damascus strategically led them down a few aisles. See, these are like that. This is what Ghostly. This is like showing, not telling, where the characters are just doing physical activities, and like opening the pocket, just ignoring that and putting it in her own. That like tells you everything you need to know about them as a character, and they don't need to say anything. It's perfect. This is like character development through action and description. It's just chef's kiss. Magical. Damascus said nothing. His head still buried in. There we go. Damascus strategically led them down a few aisles, gathering necessary supplies. They ended up by the bags of grain when Damascus tucked the last of his spoils into his coat. His back cracked as he lurched upright. "Anything else?" She glanced around one final time, and after a moment's deliberation, shook her head. "No. Let's go." The air was sucked out of the room as the door from beyond the walls of shelves abruptly creaked open before slamming shut. Buttercup's blood froze over, her face paling borderline sickly, her mind screaming at her to move, but her feet was like lead in her boots. "All right, here we go." "Bother, bother, bother," an older, gravelly voice grumbled. Ghostly's so excited for this. Before her instinct could kick her in the tail, a short figure rounded the corner. It was an elderly man with pointed ears and wiry gray hair that stood every which way. His nose was long and crooked, as though it had been broken many times before. His eyes watched the floor as he pedaled down the aisle with an open sack in hands. "Bothersome fate and luck, and blech! Can't get good help these days." He didn't even glance at Buttercup. He just walks right by her. His toiling focus on the shelves as he aggressively grabbed items and stuffed them into the sack. "I'm a good employer. I pay nice. I let them have half off their groceries. And what do? Leave me high and dry for the blasted stable boy." The old man complained to a jar of big... "True love. Bah! Give it 10 years, 3 kids, and washing smelly socks. Then she'll see what true love got her." Jeez. He wagged his finger at the preserves. That's very... Buttercup blinked. She'd nearly forgotten where she was and the circumstances that surrounded her by the strange display. Seeing no other options, she doubled down, remaining perfectly still, praying the old man was hard on sight. "Third girl in 4 months. Can you believe it?" The beetroot couldn't fathom. Great line, Ghostly. The first one decided she wanted to be a seamstress and bounded off to follow her dreams. Silly, I know. The second one got the plague, though I suppose that wasn't really Tilly's fault. Now this last one found true love. These kids, he shook his head. The old imply man stuffed the last of his wares before he looked up, shaking his head. His eyes found Buttercup, and he jumped back in an instant. "Jiminy criminy blast!" Jesus Christ. Oh boy. True love. Oh my god, he's a literal cartoon. He's a little cartoon. Jiminy Criminy Blast. He breathed in a quick sock succession. A knobby hand holding a knobby hand holding the tweed of his jacket over his heart. Buttercup felt the life drain from her as a horrible. Look, Ghostly never claimed to be intelligent. Oh, you're doing just fine, Ghostly. Intelligent, and you are doing just fine. This character already love this character so much, so I think you're doing a good job. Good job with your homage here. Buttercup felt the life's blood drain from her as a horrible epiphany smacked her senses in the loop. The horror tingled her bones as it clicked that Damascus was still behind her, most likely looming above the simple village girl like a wolf to a doe in the eyes of the unknowing. She found herself frozen, her mind running, but her feet like stones. Look, we're all very smart, everybody. Everybody here is very intelligent. There's no questions of intelligence. We are all delightful, kind, and intelligent folks. These are the type of people that hang out in this stream. The old man caught his breath after a long moment, shaking his head as though disappointed. Gods and it's such a good line. Gods and tadpoles, lass, you jumped me like a lightning strike. Buttercup blinked. All the assumptions her thoughts had been working thrown out in an instant. Her curiosity managed to break her atrophy, and her head snapped around to look behind her. She was met only with bags of grain and flour, no large demonic companion. But even through her haze, she did not neglect to notice the pull of the rope was towards the grain. With a jolt of self-preservation, she subtly sidestepped closer to the pile of grain, hiding the rope that led around her back. The old man's shock soured in a frown. Now, who might you be? I'm sure I never seen the likes of a ferret like you before. Likes of a ferret? Calling her a ferret? She swallowed the desert that spanned her throat and forced the soft words she had yet to think of. Buttercup? She asked as if unsure if that was the right answer. Something clicked behind his eyes and he clapped his hands. Ah, you must be that girl from Wexford looking for work. My, aren't you a go-getter? Already acquainting yourself with the storeroom. A smile... A go-getter. He's from the 1920s. Ah, I see. A go-getter. Real sharp tool in the shed. A sharp smile sliced up the man's face as he waddled over to her. Bex, pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you, my darling dear. He took her hand and shook it emphatically. Wages 5 copper an hour, starting and half off your groceries. You keep my shelves packed like sheep, and my storerooms tidy as a vault. You also deal with the wretched nags you will call customers. You smile at them and bat those pretty little eyelashes so they don't notice the markup, eh? Oh my god. Yeah, he's a radio show actor. Yeah, smile at them and bat those pretty little eyelashes so they don't notice the markup, eh? Yeah, it's 100% doing that high tinny voice for the microphone. There we go. Buttercup's head spun at the quickfire information she took in stride, nodding. Yes, sir, of course, sir. Can do, sir. Max snapped his fingers in celebration. La-di-da, miraculous, you're hired. She opened her mouth to say something, but her thoughts were quickly derailed as Max pulled an apron and hung around his neck and tossed it to her. Start by sorting out the mush dates on the preserves. Then mark down the bad ones by a third, and put them out as almost out of season. With nothing more, the imp man slung his back over his shoulder and pedaled around one of the shelves. Jesus Christ. Oh. Buttercup listened to him grumble all the way through the maze until she heard the door creak open, and from beyond, "Welcome aboard, Shotzi." The door thudded across, and Buttercup felt her heart fall back from her throat and her chest. She let out a breath. That was a cocktail of relief and exhaustion. She let herself slide down the sacks of grain till she was on the ground. You either need to get quicker on your feet or quicker at telling tall tales. A deep voice from behind her spoke. She didn't even look at him, but she felt the loosening in her body stiffen with annoyance. Just get me out of here. She spoke roughly, forcing herself back to her feet with some struggle. She tossed the apron on the ground before turning to follow the human shadow and the green leash that made losing him difficult. That was too close. She sighed quietly as he guided her back through the maze of shelves. Agreed, he huffed. He took every turn with confidence. He was clearly well familiar with the layout, and Buttercup couldn't help but wonder how many times he had snuck in through the unassuming grate. How do you manage to hide so quickly? She asked before she could stop herself. Damascus cast a weary glance beside him, looking over the labyrinth. Instinct at this point. My stature doesn't permit spaces I can hide, but I've grown a knack for melting into shadow. You're not dissuading me from thinking you're actually a demon, you know, she said at his heels. He shrugged. Think me a devil, think me a man, regardless the impression is the same. That's a great line, Ghostly. That's a highlight line on my Kindle right there. Great line. Damascus was about to turn the last bend into the hidden corner uh, they crawled up from when he halted dead in his tracks. Buttercup managed to stop before she ran into him. A frown pulled on her lips that opened to voice her annoyance as his suddenness again. At his suddenness again, but her eyes stopped her. She looked up and noticed the coolness to his face had hardened to something she had never seen before, something hate-filled. His glare was set beyond the shelf and focused to their means of escape, but something told her it wasn't directed at the grate. My, Damascus Drake. You are a slippery one, I must admit. A smooth, awful voice crooned. A phantom poured ice water down Buttercup's back, her whole body racking with a shiver. Though it came from beyond the shelf that separated her from the corner, it felt as though the words were spoken just above her ear. Damascus's fist squeezed at his sides, his jaw clenched as he forced the word like a curse. Roderick. Ooh, that's a good villain name. Roderick? Nice. All right. I mean, oh, Rowrick. Oh, it's Rowrick. Okay, and so, oh, Rorik. Or I guess Rorik. I guess that Rorik or Rowrick. Yeah, Rorik. Okay, Rorik. Rorik. Okay, Rorik. Got it. All right, and that takes us into The Bad Gets Worse. All right, Ghostly. Well, this is obviously, I mean, this, if there was ever a perfect chapter of a book, I think you did it. I mean, you know, there's some editorial cleaning up, some awkward phrasing, but I'm not going to give you notes on that stuff. That's all refinement. I mean, I have no notes about this chapter. It's great. Absolutely great chapter. A fun little like heist thing with a nice little, obviously delightful character. I do hope Max makes a return. Might not. I mean, I know it's a road story, so we might not come around. But what little time Max had, I enjoyed my time with him. I was waiting to see when this villain was gonna pop in. So, yeah, I don't really have any notes or any. I mean, my thoughts are I can't wait to find out, what's going on here with Rorik. And so far, yeah, you're doing a great job balancing kind of, you know, we got some tension. You're building up tension. The tension carries over into this chapter. So you're doing things. You're setting everything up great. So, yeah, having the last chapter switch perspectives at the very end to set up that they're being stalked. That Damascus has an idea that they're being stalked, or is at least wary that's happening. Then we have this very funny scene to distract us, but the tension is still there. Yeah, you're nailing it. And then, of course, you know, turning back around, you know, and having them be cornered. So, yeah, it's great, Ghostly. This is fantastic. How many more chapters do we have? We got 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, 17 chapters. All right. for book one, and this is all of book one. Look at you, Ghostly. Well done. Well, I don't want to ruin that. Yeah, well done, Ghostly, and well done finishing your act. Even though I know you said you're going back and writing, um, another chapter, um, earlier. But yeah, it's an incredibly solid draft indeed, Ghostly. It's huge. Um, you're really doing a great job. This is gonna be a fun story. I know. How many did you say you think there's gonna be? Three acts or three? It's the first part of the book. Yeah, you said there was gonna be three, right? Or no, four. Okay, there's gonna be four acts. Hell yeah. I don't know. Great. It's great work, Ghostly. I adore this story. Um, Obviously a character you got some great lines, man. You really do get some amazing one-liners in there. Um, like that, that they're apt. They're like, they're insightful lines. They're kind of what you look for, literary. They're intelligent, thoughtful, thought-provoking lines, be them lines of dialogue or just observations. You do a good job. You do a very good job. So congrats, Ghostly, for real, for 4 years. I think that cannot be overstated how in crazy of a feat that is that you've managed to do that. So well done, and I can't wait to read the rest of this story. Insulta, I'm very excited for us to finish the Village Saga. Yes, yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there, almost at the end. And then you're gonna make us wait for chapter two, unless you start treating us like they would publish chapters back in the old days, like with Dickinson, where it's just you start feeding us chapter after chapter, so we know, so we get to keep up with the story. 4 years is a massive. I mean, it's incredible. I wish I could say I have done something every day for 4 years, aside from just the necessary things that I need to do to eat to survive. And I can't even put eating on that list. I have actually gone full days without eating food, so like I can't even put food there. So I am envious of you, Ghostly, for that level of discipline, that level of commitment, and commitment to the craft. It's impressive. And it's not like you're just like lazing around, just writing all day. You've got big people jobs. You're working, you're living life, and you manage to find time to write every day. That is no small. I mean, that's wild. Yeah, exactly. I hope to be here again at the same time next year. I hope you are too. Yeah, exactly. Unless you disown me, which you're more than welcome to. Yeah, either here or encrypted stream to continue on the journey. Now we're coming on 2 years now. I doubt it. Yeah, yeah, we'll see. We will see. Are we coming on 2 years? Is that how long it's been? It hasn't been that long, has it? Because I started streaming and then stopped streaming for like 8 months and then started back up again. That's why it's always hard for me to remember when like these like weird anniversaries are. Oh right, okay. Do you February is 2 years? Oh my god, is it really? Man, time does not stop. Um, that is bananas. This is right after my birthday. That's when I came into your chat. I do. I mean, I remember when you first. I remember when you first came in. I mean, there's of the OGs, definitely the OG school. Moon Runes, you, Maya Archie, a lot of the OG Omega Black Champion, a lot of the OGs out there. Um. Oh, is it? Wow, Crypta, has it already been a year? Good lord, that has been. I think I've been a year this fall. Man, wild. It's weird to think that I'll have been doing this for over 2 years. That is bonkers. Because I know it was before my partner had her surgery, and that was December. Oh wow, okay. So it was before the winter. Okay. I was your 18th. I was your 18th follower. I will never forget. That's true. I think I got a bunch of random followers when I first started streaming. But I think you and Moon Runes were the first of the bunch, coming when I first came back. when I came back to streaming. I think, yeah, I'd have to look. I'm sure there's a way to like see like all the OGs and when they signed up, but you're all part of the old the real crew, the OG crew. That is for sure. All right, we got 7 more minutes on the timer for everybody out there who's running. Oh, you can do that, Opresoria? A list? Yeah, go for it. Yes. Yeah, let's list that. Let's see what that is. I'm curious. I'm always curious what the order is. I mean, Opresoria was the first. Opresoria will always be the first, and Opresoria will make sure that everybody knows that Opresoria is first. What is this? Okay. All right. That's not a big deal. Okay. All right. So while we are chilling here, let's go minimize that. Thank you, Opresoria. Next ad break. Oh, it's gonna. Wait. Not in 3 minutes. Not in three. Wait till after we start the down timer. Because people might. Well, actually, it doesn't. I guess that doesn't matter because people probably have it muted while they're writing anyway. You all are so lovely, Ghostly Campus. How much you all have meant to me. Aw, we love you, Ghostly. Ghostly told all her coworkers that she was gonna hang out with her writer friends for her anniversary, and I've been excited about this all day. I know. I mean, it's a big day, Ghostly. This is a big deal. I don't think it should ever be understated how big of a deal it is what you've managed to achieve. So, and you are. No, you're fine, Opera. Don't worry. No. We're still finishing up the sprint. No, you're fine, Opera. I figured you're in the middle of a lot of stuff right now. Hard same Ghostly. You all got yeah. I love this whole community, this whole little group we've built. Everybody here is amazing and cares about their craft and helping other people care about the work that they're doing. Just lots of love and kindness, and I appreciate it. It's the only reason why I'm still doing it. I probably would not be doing this if it wasn't for everybody here being a goddamn delight. But you are an absolute gift to the world, Ghostly. 100%. You're a gift to this community and all of us, and a damn fine writer. But yeah, you are amazing. I really have you guys to blame for my creative Oh no, you've done that on your own. We're just here to help you along. I've never received such amazing feedback and encouragement since I got here. Yeah, you would have done this. The spark was all your own. You've got this, but we are here to help you keep on trucking because it's hard. Trying to stay creative, and life is hard. That's kind of part of life. It's hard, and it's hard to keep it up. So, I think the best we can do and what we can hope for is just having a small community or people there that are fellow writers and creatives that can help each other along, because it can be a rough road at times. So it's very important. Why I like the twist at the end of the village saga is your fault. Oh, really? Oh, okay. You all have had a direct impact on insults. Yeah, we're all here to help you along, but it's what you do with all of that that's what makes it delightful. But I am glad that whatever you've gotten from me, it is helpful and helps make your story better and more perfect for you, because you definitely write. You definitely have one of the strongest voices out there. You write with a very strong voice, and it's a delight to read. So, what is up, number 13th? Welcome. How's it going? I hope the words are treating you well if you're working. We're just about to wrap up our second writing sprint. We are going to do one more writing sprint, and we'll actually do writing on that sprint. So, right now we're just kind of like chilling, taking a break. What's up? It's been good. I'm glad it's going well, number 13th. That's important, but I hope your day is going well too. Hope things are treating you well. You cooked some eggs and potatoes. That's making me hungry. I didn't eat much today. Uh, I kind of went crazy last night and had like like a diehard craving for chicken wings, and I ate like a pound of chicken wings, which which like uh which really I I was craving chicken wings and I don't regret it, but that was a lot of chicken wings to eat last night, so it's definitely the spiciness has hit me a little hard. Ghostly, seriously, you said something and it changed Damascus. Oh wow, okay, and he does something he never did in the first bout. Okay, well, I whatever it is when we get there, I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to hear about it and experience it. But I'm glad, and I hope it made it. I hope from your point of view, it helped make that better. That's all. That's the thing that matters the most. Number 13th, how come? How come I had a craving for chicken wings? I don't know. For a second I was like maybe I'm pregnant. Maybe I'm pregnant with like a I'm pregnant with an anxiety baby or something. But I was really craving chicken wings. I also haven't had chicken wings in a long time, so that might also be part of it. Potential. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Okay. Yeah. It'll happen. And I say this, that's Wilight's fault. Blame Wilight for this suffering. That's good. If it is sorrow, then absolutely I will take credit for that. Because Lord knows I do like being utterly mean to my characters. Uh, uh, I mean, it makes me feel bad sometimes, but, we'll see. You know what's funny, Ghostly, is I was actually just thinking the other day, because I'm kind of like, just trying to meditate on some of the stories and kind of how things I want to revisit, some of the scripts I'm writing. And I started thinking a lot about the Western again. It might be time soon. I might go, it might, I started getting a few ideas for how I think I might be able to make the second half of that script sing a little bit better. So I might be returning to the Western here. We'll see. I've got two other scripts I need to get out. I've only written one script this year, and I really want a minimum 3 scripts a year, so I'm falling behind. While it is this because this is the longest you've been home between jobs, uh, is this or is it what is it because that like me like thinking or do you mean like the chicken wing thing? It might be. Um, I mean this. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, this might be this might be this is definitely the longest I've been home consistently since before since before I was since August. My god, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I think you might be right, Cryptid. I think you're right. All right. And we are back hitting the down timer. Everybody who is writing, take a break, get some tea, get some water, stand up, stretch those legs, and we'll be back at it. Oh, my anxiety baby. Yeah, that might be. Yeah, that's probably why. I'm always anxious. I mean, I'm still definitely doing the gig life. Why that is it because the longest you've been between jobs. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing some editing work, but I'm a little. Yeah, I mean, I'm always that anxiety is always there. I'm still very much hand to mouth when it comes to my contract work. So I things have not recovered to where I'm able to build a savings account yet. And I actually had to burn through all my savings last year during the strikes, um, because my take home pay at the end of last year was so bad that I mean it was less than my yearly rent allotment plus like food. So yeah, it was bad. Yeah, I think I totally cleaned out my savings account. So we'll see. Things will probably turn around, but that my anxiety about work and money is like always a thing. That almost never goes away, particularly post COVID landscape for sure. Um, a western, the western, yeah, the horror western. It's a 20. It's a 21st pages we're looking at. Virgil, my boy, my love. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, sure, Opera Story. I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, but now you're anxious and sitting still, and it's easier to avoid it when you're on the move. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, that's true. I say with experience. Yeah, yeah. I think I need to now that like I'm not traveling like every week now. I think I do need to like I am struggling to get back into the routine, And I think once I'm back in the routine, my writing will become more consistent. I'll be less anxious. I'll probably be able to sleep at night. Um, yeah, but now you're. Also, did you? Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely take a history list. I'd be very curious. Ghostly. I'm sure you still have a Dragon Horde of points. Oh, Ghostly, you're only middle class in terms of your Torque coins? I find that hard to believe. I feel like Ghostly's secretly pretending to be middle class, but is actually like a millionaire when it comes to Torque coins. Oh no, however will thou cope? Exactly. How will you manage? Hey, Battle Comics, welcome in, welcome in. How goes the day slash night slash time zone? How goes the words, the writing, the art? Um, let's see. Would it be possible, Twilight, to do like a double redeem to finish the Village Saga next time? Yeah, that's fine. Like tomorrow? Yeah, that's fine. You don't need it. You don't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's totally fine. 20 page. Oh, 20 pages for the next time or yeah. Wait, what? Tomorrow? Oh, I don't know. Whenever you want. Oh, you want to just use the one redeem and then have me finish? Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I see what you're saying, Ghostly. Yeah, that's fine. Um yeah, no, next time if you want to do a double redeem, we can just finish the story outright. 21 pages? Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. We'll just do a reading. It'll be a reading stream. Uh, I mean, you can do it whenever you want. Um, I am middle class, and that's okay by me. Exactly, exactly. Yep. We're just at break at the moment. It's gonna try to figure out how I want to rewrite this fight scene in my comic. Ah, gotcha. How do you do it? I'm doing well, doing well, doing well. Trying to get back into the writing zone. Um, kind of been scrambling around a lot, traveling a lot for work, so it's been slow going trying to get back in and get. I've got these two scripts that I've got to get done, so I usually space it out for you in your chat because I don't want to bog people with my words. Oh, that's you sweet soul. I don't want to do that to people. You have a following. They come here to make words, not mine. I mean, whenever, yeah, whenever you want, we can. But I don't mind. I don't mind just having the next redemption finish the act. That's fine. Whenever you want to do that, though, we can do that. Because yeah, I should be streaming. Stream will be a little bit earlier and shorter tomorrow because I have an appointment I have to go to at 6:30, so I'll probably be wrapping up stream a little bit earlier. So we'll see if I can start at around like 2:30 p.m. Pacific, but I don't know. We'll see. But it might be a little bit shorter tomorrow, and then Friday should be normal Friday times. Uh, don't tempt me. Don't you tempt me. I Hey, it's fine, Ghostly. You do what you gotta do. I'm fine reading. I'm fine reading it out. You just let me know when you want to do it. I will spend all of my money. Uh all of your Tor coins. I wonder, it would be interesting like how many Tor coins has it cost to get through the whole story? Or not the whole story, sorry, the whole first act. I wonder how much it has cost in the redemption circles. Okay, you might be able to calculate, yeah. Yeah, because I'm kind of dying keeping it to myself. I think it's gonna surprise you. Hey, I don't think I have any idea. I don't think I know where this is going, so I have no doubt in my mind that it'll surprise me. All right. All right, we're at the end of our. All right, so ad should start in the next 7 minutes. Or actually, that was back, so they should actually start here pretty close. Ghostly surprised yourself with what you wrote is so far out of your comfort zone. That's huge. I mean, that's good. I've learned a lot by writing outside of my comfort zone. I mean, that's why I wrote that rom-com, because that was definitely not my comfort zone. And I think people liked it. I think people seem to have really liked that script. So I think that that's probably, you know, that's probably it's I definitely think it's made me a better writer. So, particularly going back to the other stuff. Thank you so much, Opressor. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go restock on water while we got ads rolling right now, and then I will be back, and we will do the last sprint, and this sprint will actually do some writing. So, whoo! Oh my God, 19,500 points. Whoo! All right. Yeah, that's a lot. All right, that's a lot of tort coins. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. Whew. 2 years. 2 years, everybody. Look at that. Hot damn. All right. I'll be right back. Stretch those legs. Let's get ready. And one more push. One more big push to get the words done. All right. Be right back. Okay. Wow. Whew. Oh. All right. I am back. Looks like ads are about to drop. Let's see here. 2 years. Yeah, that's a lot. Wait. Channel point moon runes. I'd hope channel point, not real dollars. That's for sure. Jeez. But I think that's how much Ghostly has spent for the read on stream. I think. I believe so. I have started, so I'm going to try to stretch. Yeah, stretch those bones, Cryptid. Okay, 10,500 give or take. It's a miracle I graduated. Yeah, well, aren't we all? Oh, did I left my water? Damn it! All right. Let me go get my water. I clearly came back without it, and then we will get started. Ooh, you have 74.6. I mean, yeah, Moon Runes. You probably have a ton as well. You've been around here forever. I should have you. I should have you read something of mine. Absolutely, Moon Runes. You absolutely should. That was awful math. Holy crap, Moon Runes. Yeah. Moon Runes, absolutely. I mean, I've read a little bit of. I mean, I still haven't finished. I know you sent your last, I think, draft a while ago, and I just never was able to read it. So I still have to read that. But yeah, absolutely read it on. Absolutely, if you got stuff you want me to read, I will absolutely read it on stream. I'm nervous, so I might write something for fun. Oh, do that. I gotcha. That makes sense. No, it totally makes sense, Moon Runes. I gotcha. Having someone read your work on stream is like a deeply nerve-wracking thing, so. All right. Yeah, it's changed now. I'm rewriting the whole first. Oh, gotcha. Yep. And thus the rewriting begins. Have no fear. This man has read my infant child for the internet. That's true. That is true. All right, let me go get my water and then we'll get started. Since I clearly walked away without taking it. I poured it and walked away. I All right, there we go. All the rejection letters said, I've gotten said they like the premise, but it needs to be revised. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it is just lots and lots and lots of editing work and just rewriting, refining, figuring out how to do it. That's part of the process, unfortunately. But I'm glad the rejection letters have like given you feedback. I mean, sometimes it just the worst is you just get nothing. Let's see. I only did shoulder rolls and snapped with it. Oh, Cryptid, I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely get used to it in time. My love child for 4 years has been plastered all over this channel. It's scary, but you get desensitized. Yeah, that's true. It's kind of why I started writing on stream, was to desensitize. Desensitize myself to that. It was kind of definitely like you're in like a deep, vulnerable place sharing your work, and I was like, I'm just gonna have my stuff on stream, and then people can tear it apart, and I'll get over it. So Wildlight, my friend, my comrade, Friday. May I bother you more? Yeah, of course. Yeah, if you want me to read on Friday, we can do that. That is totally fine. Princess. Oh wait, new princess emote. Princess emote. Once again, thank you to Moon Runes. The best birthday gift, obviously. Princess streams. Let's see. Yeah, they've all been super nice and told me if I wanted to query again with a different story code. Oh, that's great, Moon Runes. Oh, that makes me very happy. But has anyone ever torn it apart? No. No. I've definitely gotten some like people pop in while I'm writing and definitely like kind of over shoulder me a couple times, but not often. But yeah, it hasn't happened often. Yay, princess! Yeah, princess. Yes, Cryptid. Yeah, Moon. That was Moonrune's birthday gift to me and the channel. Was now we've got so when princess shows up, princess scream. So that's great. Yeah, but no, obviously of the rest of you, so far no one's torn it apart. Ghostly got heckled that one time. Now that script will be a movie. That is true. You did get heckled. It's the only time I've ever banned anybody that wasn't a bot. So, look at that. Look at that. Actually, that person might have actually been the person who over the shouldered me. It might have been that person or someone else. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. But that person was an asshole. So, all right. Let us dive into our sprints. You all too good to Ghostly. It's not that you're too good to Ghostly. That guy was an asshat. And they got banned for being it because that's what happens when you be a dick in this chat. Precisely. We do not allow it. I will not allow. Sorry, this is about to quote Dr. Strangelove. I cannot and will not allow the violation of our bodily fluids. The princess treatment is going to go straight to her head. Exactly. Oh, princess absolutely will get that treatment. Okay. Oh my god, that wouldn't surprise me. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's already curled up and ready to go. So, all right, everybody, we're going to dive into our sprints. Happy riding, everybody. We will see you on the other side, and away we go. I am going to shift music, so hopefully the music doesn't hurt people too much. Happy riding, and away we go. All right, Night Moon Runes. Thank you once again for the emote and the gift. I'm very I adore it, but I just want to shout that out before you head off. Have a lovely night, Moon Runes. Get some rest. Alrighty, everybody. Hopefully, for everybody writing out there, that was a productive sprint. I got no writing done, but I learned a lot, and so I'm gonna go and say that that was a successful sprint because learning is important, kids. And I learned, I learned some wild shit, but I learned. So we'll go and call that a success for me. But I hope for everybody else out there that it was productive. You got your words done, and everything is going well. One last time, thank you so much for this Twilight. You really made today special, and I can't thank you enough for. Of course, Ghostly. Yes, it is a special day. I'm glad we could all be here to celebrate with you. You are an absolute gift. Agree with Cryptid. Would never be the same without you. You're one of the OGs, Ghostly. You're one of the OGs of the stream. So you and Oizel, and we've all been around. We've been around, and it's nice when we can all celebrate these milestones that we attain. You are a titan, exactly, Oizel. You are a titan. A titan, some might say. That you think this is wild is deeply funny to me. It's mostly, it's not so much wild in terms of like the kink. It's more wild to me in terms of just sociologically what's happening is wild. I've definitely seen some weird dark shit on the internet. I am no spring chicken when it comes to that craziness, particularly back in the early 2000s. But it's just watching the sort of like flock mentality kind of happen with it. I find that wild, I guess, is what's strange to me. But with that, I say to you all, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. We are going to go ahead and raid in. I think the Terrible Novelist is on. So we'll go ahead and dip in for anybody who wants to keep on working on stuff. If not, I'll be around tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be streaming. It'll be a little bit shorter, might be a little earlier in the day. But we will see you all then. But again, congratulations, Ghostly. Massive, massive thing. It was absolutely lovely getting to read your work. We adore you. You are a gift. And keep up the good work. And that goes for everybody else out there who is doing the words, doing the creative thing, living the artistic life, and struggle away, because it is not easy. But I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. And we will catch you all later. Oh, never mind. Terrible Novelist off. All right. Who are we going to raid? Who's on? Who the hell is online? I think Strawberry Bell's online. Okay. There we go. We'll go raid Strawberry Bell. All right. Love you all. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time. And away we go. In a couple of seconds while I awkwardly sit here. I'm going to go try and fix my bones. Go fix your bones, Cryptid. Take care. Bob Ross. Adios, everybody.